Imagine stepping into the grand lobby of a five-star luxury hotel. The ambiance is absolutely perfect, the lighting is calibrated just right, and every single staff member you pass greets you with a warm, seemingly effortless smile. Beautiful, isn't it? But behind that flawless execution lies an incredibly complex, invisible framework of psychological effort. Today we're going to make that invisible framework visible. We're unpacking the very core of hospitality operations by mastering a concept that literally dictates the success of every guest interaction. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We look forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry. All right, let's dive right into this material. As future leaders, the practical knowledge we're covering in this explainer is designed to give you a definitive edge in managing world-class teams.
To make sure our session is highly structured, here is our roadmap for today. First, defining emotional labor. Second, the psychological costs. Third, organizational support systems. Fourth, training in emotional intelligence. And finally, number 5, the power of authenticity.
Section 1. Defining emotional labor. The core of hospitality work.
Before we can manage a hotel effectively, we really have to understand the unseen engine driving every interaction. Emotional labor is a defining feature of our industry. It's the effort employees expend to manage their emotions and expressions in order to meet service expectations. Think of a swan gliding across a lake, right? Serene on the surface, but paddling furiously underneath. In luxury hospitality, your team has to display absolute patience and unwavering positivity, completely regardless of their own internal feelings or even the guest behavior. It is an active, continuous performance.
So why do we mandate this performance? Well, because it's exactly what supports guest satisfaction. It creates those welcoming, warm, and reassuring interactions that define premium service. Guests arriving at a property expect warmth and professionalism. And you know this expectation absolutely skyrockets during moments of stress or dissatisfaction. Maybe their flight was delayed or their room isn't ready. When your employees can regulate their own emotions effectively, they help maintain top-tier service quality, acting as a calming anchor even under immense pressure. Section 2. The psychological costs. The duality of the job. Having established the benefits to the guest, we really must face the duality of this job. Guests rightfully expect warmth and professionalism under pressure. However, sustaining that emotional labor carries severe psychological costs for the employee. When staff must consistently suppress genuine emotions, they experience what we call emotional dissonance. That's the harsh friction between what is actually felt and what is shown. Left unmanaged, this directly leads to emotional exhaustion, creeping cynicism, and ultimate disengagement from the role. The polished service facade will eventually crack.
Section 3. Organizational support systems. Mitigating the impact.
Look, we cannot entirely eliminate emotional labor. It literally is the job. But we can absolutely manage its impact. The responsibility shifts from the individual right up to the structural level. When employees feel genuinely supported, the act of emotional labor becomes significantly less draining. This requires supportive leadership with managers who actually listen and empathize, realistic expectations that don't demand robotic perfection at the expense of human limits, and crucial recovery time, providing adequate breaks and spaces away from the guest view to decompress.
Section 4. Training and emotional intelligence. Equipping hospitality professionals.
Modern hospitality education approaches, exactly like the ones aligned with Europe Hotel School London, really stress this core principle. Emotional intelligence and self-awareness are not just corporate buzzwords. They are absolutely critical, foundational skills for managing emotional labor effectively. An employee has to first be able to recognize their own internal emotional state before they can successfully regulate it for the benefit of a guest. Building these internal skills is the bedrock of a sustainable career in this industry.
This self-awareness builds directly into practical application. Targeted training equips your teams for these exact emotional demands. First, through communication, teaching staff how to articulate boundaries and navigate difficult conversations smoothly. Second, conflict resolution, giving them the actual frameworks to de-escalate angry guests without absorbing the anger themselves. And third, stress management techniques for the heat of the moment. And underpinning all of this is peer support. When a team stands united, the emotional strain on any single individual drops drastically.
Section 5. The power of authenticity. Cultivating genuine service.
Shifting the very culture of your workplace can transform the emotional labor equation entirely. Authenticity heavily influences outcomes. When a hotel's culture encourages genuine care, allowing employees to bring their true personalities into interactions rather than demanding a rigid, scripted, forced positivity, the results are remarkable. The gap between what you feel and what you show narrows, meaning employees experience significantly less of that emotional dissonance we talked about earlier.
To achieve this authentic culture, leaders must take action. First, you have to acknowledge emotional effort as real, taxing work. It is just as exhausting as carrying heavy luggage all day. When leaders formally acknowledge this, employees immediately feel seen and respected. This recognition sets off a really positive cascade. It directly supports ongoing employee engagement and is a primary driver in reducing overall burnout across your entire operation.
The ultimate takeaway is clear. Managing emotional labor effectively doesn't just protect the well-being of the employee, it actually protects the premium quality of the service provided to the guest. Hotels that step up and address these emotional demands proactively are for sure the ones that create healthier, more profitable, and deeply sustainable workplaces.
I want to leave you with a final thought to reflect on. As future hospitality leaders, how will you ensure emotional labor is recognized as real work to protect your team's well-being and elevate service quality? Think deeply about the culture you want to build when you step into management. Thank you for your focus today, and we look forward to supporting your continued professional growth in the hospitality industry.